Hi, it's John Vu, and this lesson is on Reach Out, I'll Be There by Four Tops from Trinity Rock and Pop Drums Grade 4. So this is a really well-known song recorded in 1966 on the Motown record label. So as it's a Motown track, we know there's loads of soul and feel in this music. So we've got to make sure we really put that in when we play this piece. It also has that pop appeal that Motown tracks had. Okay, it's upbeat and lively, lots of energy. Okay, so looking at the sheet music in the book, you can see the song title at the top there. Beneath that, you've got intro in a box, letting you know the first section of the song you're going to be playing is an intro. Okay, beneath that it says drive the band. So that's the performance marking there, just letting you know how to play. So drive the band means you as the drummer need to give this a driving feel. You need to take authority, play with conviction, and really drive the pulse of the music. Okay, so we're going to be playing a really common Motown groove in this song, where we're playing the backbeat on all four downbeats. So when we hit the backbeat on all four of those downbeats, we have to almost push the time a little bit, okay? Give it an almost kind of forced approach to really keep the song driving, moving forward. Okay, so we're just playing a little bit ahead of time just to give it that driving feel. You don't want to be speeding up and obviously playing too fast, but you just want to give that sense that you're really driving the band. You're taking control of the feel and the tempo of the song. Okay, so looking beside that, it says 120 there for your tempo. So it says a quarter note equals 120. So that means there's 120 quarter note beats per minute. So a fairly fast tempo. So it's a nice brisk piece in terms of tempo. It's got a nice sort of driving tempo to it. And then beneath that, you've got your first bar of music, percussion clef there, let you know it's drum notation on the stave. And next to that, we've got the time signature, which is 4/4. So a nice simple time signature. We've got a 4 at the top, which tells us there's 4 beats in the bar. The 4 at the bottom tells us the note value of the beat is a quarter note. So we've got 4 quarter note beats in the bar. And then in the first bar of music, we've got a multi-bar rest there. That thick black line letting us know we're resting for more than one bar. And above the multi-bar rest, you can see number 7 there, which tells us we're going to be resting for 7 bars. So the first 7 bars of the track, no drums. Okay, so we need just to count those 7 bars there as a rest. Then moving into the next bar, which is bar 8 of the piece after that multi-bar rest, we've got a half note rest at the start of the bar, which means your rest of beats 1 and 2. Then we've got an 8th note rest on beat 3. So we're going to come in on the and of 3 there with an 8th note on the snare drum, and there's an accent above it, so we need to hit that with more force, more emphasis, more stress, so it really stands out. That ands, we come in, nice big impact with an accented note on the upbeat 3 there, and beneath that snare note on the end of 3 you've got an F, which is short for forte, which means loud. Okay, so we come in loud, and on the 4th beat we've got 2/16 and an 8th note on the snare drum, so that rhythm would be 40 and. So we come in on the and of 3 and we play through the 4, so we've got and 40 and for the rhythm of that intro fill. Okay, we've got an accent on that first note on the and of 3, so hit that louder. We're going to hit that with the left hand, the and of 3, and then we're going to play right, left, right for the 40 and. So you got and 40 and. So we got 1, 2. Okay, so an accented note, but make sure all the notes are loud. So we're playing at forte, but that and of 3, that first note really needs to pop out, stand out a little bit more. Okay, so you can see a double bar line there. At the end of line 1, so that's because there's a musical change, so that's the end of the intro. Okay, so as the drummer, we've just got 4 notes at the end of the intro, so the band are playing the first 7 bars, and the drums come in at the end of that intro. Okay, so we're setting up to come in with the groove in the next section. Okay, so looking at the next line, which starts at bar 9, you've got a verse there written in the box, so we're on to the verse now, and you can see the sign there, that Senyo sign, just letting you know you're going to be coming back to this point at some future point in the song. So we make note of that so we know where to come back to. Okay, and also at the start of the verse, you can see we've got a start repeat sign or an open repeat sign, so we know we're going to be repeating from this point. Okay, so we're going to be coming back to repeat from this point, and we're also coming back to this point when we get told to come back to the sign. Okay, so make sure we make a note of bar 9 there. This is a point we come back to twice, at least twice. Okay, so in that first bar of the verse, we've got that really common Motown groove, okay, which gives this song the feel, well, really contributes to the feel of this song. Okay, so we've got eighth notes, so that's the subdivision of the groove. We're going to be playing those on the hi-hat, nice tight closed hi-hat, and then we're playing all 4 downbeats on the snare drum. Okay, so that backbeat, the quarter note backbeat's playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll put those 2 parts together, the hands, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so bringing in the bass drum as well, you've got bass drum on the 1 for a quarter note, and we've also got bass drums on the upbeat of 3 and the upbeat of 4, so playing in between those backbeat notes on the 3 and 4. So we're on the downbeat of 1, and then we're playing on the upbeat of 3 and 4 on the bass drum. So the bass drum is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so putting that together, you get a really nice Motown groove, which sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the groove. It's just a 1 bar groove, and you can see we've got a crash cymbal on the downbeat of 1. So we're going to come in with a crash. So we've got that short fill at the end of the intro, and then that explosive crash, which kicks us into that Motown groove, which really sends us into that driving feel. Okay, makes everyone dance, hearing that groove. Okay, then after bar 9, you can see we've got 1 bar repeats. We've got 1 bar repeats for the rest of the line there, so we've got 3 1 bar repeats, and then in the next line we've got another 6 1 bar repeats. Okay, so we're playing that groove there for 10 bars. Okay, so we've got 4 bars in line 2, and then another 6 bars in line 3 of the piece. Okay, so you can see the number 4 there above the 4th time of playing the groove. And then you can see the number 8 there in the next line of the verse, letting you know that's the 8th time of playing the groove. Okay, so these are all good cues, because when we're playing the groove, especially in a song like this song where it's a soul piece, a lot of feel in it, we don't want to be looking at the sheet music and reading. Okay, because if we're reading and concentrating on the notes and following the music, we're not really sort of putting our heart and soul into the music. So when you see a 1 bar groove there, and you know you're repeating it a few times, you can come away from the sheet music, just put all that feel into the groove, into the music, and then when you feel like you're on the 4th bar, okay, where obviously we naturally feel, you can look at the sheet music and know exactly where you are. Okay, then when we feel that 8th bar, which is the next 4th bar, we can look at the sheet music and know exactly where we are. Okay, so they're just really good cues, which mean you don't have to just stare at the music and really sort of read every single part of the song. Okay, so after that number 8 there, above the 8th time playing the groove, you've got another 2 1 bar repeats there for the rest of the line. And above the final 1 bar repeat on that line, you can see it says darling. So that's these lyrics of the song at that point. Okay, so again, a great cue, because when you hear those lyrics, you know exactly where you are. So you can just be playing that groove, enjoying the music. When you hear the singer sing those lyrics, darling, you know, okay, right, I'm here, what's next? Okay, so that brings us into the next line of the piece, which starts at bar 19. We've got a crash cymbal. So again, we need to accentuate the groove there at the start of bar 19. And you can see it says reach out above that bar. So again, that's the lyrics at that point. Okay, just those nice cues. Then you've got 1 bar repeat and another 1 bar repeat. So remember, with 1 bar repeats, you don't repeat the crash. Okay, so we don't want to hear that accentuation every single bar. We just want to hear it to give that impact for parts of the song. Okay, so we're only crashing start bar 9, and then we crash again at bar 19. Okay, so all those 1 bar repeats, no crash on the 1, just carry on closed hi-hats. And then in bar 22, we're carrying on playing the groove, but we empty it out a little bit. Okay, so we stop on the 3. So it's the same groove up until the 3. So you're going to get that stop for a quarter note on the 3, and then we rest for the 4. So that bar is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then in the next bar, which is bar 23, we've got a half note rest for beats 1 and 2, quarter note rest for beat 3, and then we've got a 1 beat fill for 8th notes. We've got 4 and for that rhythm. So we've got the downbeat of 4 on the snare drum, which we'll play right hand, and then we've got the and of 4 on the high tom or small tom, which we're also going to play with the right hand. So you've got 4 and, just for your lead hand. Okay, so remember, if you're left-handed, just switch the sticking around. So we just got right. So we're going to play those 2 bars now, bars 22 and 23. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so make sure you stop on that 3, hold that quarter note, and then you rest for the right amount of time. Hit that fill on the 4 of beat of bar 23. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the verse. You can see a double bar line there at the end of bar 23. So we come to the end of a musical section. So we're going to put the whole verse together. So we're going to crash into the groove at the start of the verse. So a nice accentuated crash there to really kick off the verse. Okay, make sure when you play the groove, the 1 bar groove, everything's nice and synchronized. Okay, that's really key to this song grooving. Okay, so we've got all of those downbeats on the snare drum. So every downbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, they need to be, make sure they're lined up nicely with the hi-hats. Okay, and obviously the bass drum as well, where the bass drum plays a downbeat of 1. Okay, so if anything's out of line, you start to get like a flammy kind of sound, and that's not going to complement the feel of this music. So you're going to be really neat and tidy with this groove. Okay, so rhythmically it's straightforward. So you might look at this song and think, oh, okay, really easy, simple rhythms. But when rhythms are simple, it means you can think more about the other parts of music, which is like the feel and stuff like that. Okay, the groove. Okay, so how it feels. So make sure you're not just playing the notes, you're kind of going, okay, right, I've got the notes down. Now, how can I make this groove sound good? How can I make this groove complement the music? Because this groove adds so much to the feel of this music. And when you listen to this song, okay, it really makes you feel something. Okay, so it has a really huge impact. And that part of that is the groove. Okay, so your job as the drummer is really important in this song. Although it's a rhythmically simple groove, stylistically and in terms of the feel you need to give it, it's quite complicated. Okay, so you really need to put your heart and soul into this groove. So do that, and also make sure it's synchronized. So it's lining up nicely, no flamming notes. Okay, so we want to make sure they're right in unison, those notes, so they're really neat and tidy. If we're slightly out of time with either, it's going to sound flammy. Okay, that's what we don't want. So make sure you do that when you play this verse. Okay, so really concentrate on that, and make sure those bass drums on the upbeat 3 and 4 right in the middle of the downbeats. Okay, so give it a driving feel. Like I said at the start, it almost feels like you're pushing the tempo. Okay, so you're playing a little bit ahead. So you want to kind of feel that as you're playing it. You don't want to be dragging. Okay, so if you're hanging back, you're going to pull back the vibe of the song, and the band are going to be like, come on, like keep up. It's like you're the leader of the tempo in the song, so you need to be saying to the band, come on, keep up with me. Okay, so play right on the tempo at least, but push it a little bit just to give it that driving feel. Okay, just a little bit if you can. Okay, but don't go behind the beat. Okay, don't drag. So let's try the verse now. So what we're going to do, we're going to include the intro fill. Okay, so we're just going to come in, we're going to start at bar 8. Okay, so we're going to come in with the intro fill, and then we're going to explode into that Motown groove. Okay, so let's try that now in time with the metronome, which is set at the song tempo, 120 beats per minute. And now we're going to play the intro and verse in time with the backing track. Okay, so remember you've got that 7 bar rest at the start of the piece. So you're going to hear other instruments, they're going to be coming in, but we don't come in until bar 8. Okay, so you rest for those first 7 bars. We come in with a fill, so make sure you come in on the upbeat 3, that and a 3 accent. So nice, loud, abrupt entry from the drums. Okay, then we play through the fill at forte. So remember we're at forte. And we kick off into the groove, okay? So a big impact the drums have when they come in here. Okay, so we've got that nice intro just setting the mood and the feel of the music. Drums come in, everyone dances, okay? So make sure you're kind of thinking of that as you're playing the groove. That's what you want to be doing. Driving the music, making people dance, making people happy, feel good. Okay, so let's really have that in mind as we play through this part now in time with the backing track.
Until happiness
So now we come into the chorus, which starts at bar 24. Okay, so you can see chorus in a box there. So we've got the same groove. We crash in because we're accentuating the start of the chorus. So a new section of the song. We've got 2 1-bar repeats. So again, don't include the crash on the 1-bar repeats. Just carry on the hi-hat on that downbeat of 1. And then we've got a fill at the end of the first line of the chorus, which is bar 27. So we carry on with the same groove for the start of bar 27. We hit that 3. Okay, so you got a hi-hat and snare on the 3. Then we play the and of 3 on the snare drum. So you're going to play that left hand. So on the 3rd beat, you've got together with your hands and just the left on the upbeat. And then on the 4th beat, you've got the rhythm 4E and. So 2/16 and an 8th note. You're going to play right left on snare for the 4 and the E of 4. Right hand goes up to the high tom for the and of 4. So 4E and. Okay, so those 2 beats, beats 3 and 4 are 1, 2, 3 and 4E and. So that's a really common like little Motown break there. Okay, snare to high tom, da da boom. Okay, that nice high tone kind of gives you that nice kind of it picks you up nicely into the next bar. Okay, da da boom. It brings you up and then you come back down for the groove. Okay, so the whole of that bar 27 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that nice short break there, and then we come into the next line of the chorus. So bar 28, we've got the same groove there, the 1-bar groove. Now we've just played that short fill, so you might be you might want to play a crash cymbal to go back into the groove. You might, but you don't want to crash going into bar 28. Okay, so nice short break, back onto the hi-hat. Okay, so don't be enticed to hit that crash cymbal there. We don't need to crash at the start of this line. 2 1-bar repeats. And then we come into the next bar, which is bar 31. Okay, bar 31. Again, we've got the same rhythm that we played in bar 27. Okay, so we've got that break again, but this time it's all on the snare drum. So we haven't got that high tom note. So we just got... So same sticking, just slightly different orchestration. So that bar is 1, 2, 3, 4... Okay, then in the next bar, you've got the same bar that we played in bar 27. Okay, so again, same rhythm we just played in bar 31, but now we're going up to that high tom. Okay, so those 2 bars, the bars 31 and 32 sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 bars with the same rhythm, just slightly different orchestration. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chorus. So it's a 2-line chorus. So we're going to play the whole chorus now. Okay, so we crash in, same groove, same energy, same dynamics, same feel. Okay, so really put that feel into the groove. Okay, we've got 2 lines there, just short breaks here. Just make sure after that first break in bar 27, we don't return to the groove of a crash. Okay, just stay on that hi-hat. Okay, so let's try the chorus now in time with the metronome at the song tempo, 120 beats per minute. And now we'll try the chorus in time with the backing track. Okay, so play with the same soul that you played with in the intro and verse. Okay, so keep that drive going and just make sure nice, neat fills. Okay, get that sticking, get comfortable with the sticking and just make sure you're hitting those fills at the right point. Okay, really nice, neat and tidy fills. Okay, so let's try that now with the backing track. For me. So at the end of the chorus, so at the end of bar 32, you've got the end repeat sign there. So that's going to take us back to the start repeat sign, which we saw at the start of the verse at bar 9. Okay, so after that chorus, we go back to play another verse, which would be verse 2. Okay, you can see beneath bar 9 it says vary fills on repeats. Okay, so we're on a repeated time this time for verse 2. So whenever there's a fill, you can vary them if you want. You can play the same fills if you want to, but it's always good to improvise. Okay, so bring out some fills that you're filling yourself. So any fill from the repeat, feel free to vary. Okay, so obviously you want to keep the fills in theme with the music. So you don't want any crazy stuff that doesn't quite fit. Just make sure if you are varying fills, they are fitting with the music. Okay, so really listen to your fills and think, did that complement the music? Was that right? Okay, so nice subtle fills here. And like I was talking about before, that snare to high tom is a really common sound in Motown. So if you can continue with that, that's definitely gonna fit in with the music. Okay, so we repeat from bar 9. We play through and play the exact same 2 sections. So we've got another verse and another chorus, which would be verse 2 and chorus 2. Okay, so after we've played that again, we go on to the next page, which starts at bar 33. And above that bar, you can see it says chorus again. So we come into another chorus. Okay, so once we've played verse 2 and chorus 2, we're into another chorus. Now for this chorus, you've got the same 1 bar groove. So you can see bar 33, that same 1 bar groove there. We crash in because we're accentuating the start of a new chorus. And then we've got 2 1 bar repeats. So again, don't repeat the crash in those 1 bar repeats. And then we've got a fill at the end of the first line of that chorus, bar 36. And it's the same fill you played in the previous chorus. So playing that high tom on the and of 4. Okay, coming to the next line, which starts at bar 37. You've got the 1 bar groove there again, no crash. Okay, so again, after that short fill, you don't want to crash to go back into the groove. So we're just straight onto the hi-hat, 2 1 bar repeats again, and then we've got another break here, another short fill. So we play the groove up until the end of the second beat now. So we've got 1 and 2, and then on the third beat, we've got a high tom for a quarter note. So you go up to the high tom with the right hand, and then we got 40 and, so 2/16 and an 1/8 note on the high tom as well. So we play right, left, right. So we're going to play right, right, left, right. So make sure you hold that 3 for a quarter note. So that bar there, so bar 40 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that chorus. We've got a 2-line chorus there, so we've got a double bar line there, letting us know we come to the end of that section. Okay, so we're going to put that chorus together now, which will be chorus 3. Okay, so we're going to crash in with that same 1 bar groove. We've got that short break at the end of the first line that we've already played, and then we remember don't crash, going back into the groove, and then we've got that slightly different fill at the end of this chorus. Okay, so let's try that now, playing that chorus 3 at the top of the second page, bars 33 to 40. And now we'll try that in time with a backing track. And at the end of that chorus, so at the end of bar 40, it says DS al coda. Okay, so that's short for del segno al coda, which means go back to the sign, which again we saw at the start of bar 9. So we go back to start the verse again. And beneath DS al coda, it says no repeat. So when you go back and play from bar 9, so obviously you can see the start repeat sign there. It's just letting you know there's no repeat on this time. Okay, so we go back to the sign at bar 9. Okay, we play through another verse, which would be verse 3, and then we keep playing. So again, this counts as a repeat. So if you want, you can vary the fills, but if you don't want to, you can play the same fills that are written for you there. We play through, and then come to the chorus again at bar 24. We play through the chorus, but not all the way through it. So you can see we got to coda there, written above bar 31. Okay, so above bar 31, so you finish bar 31, and then it says to coda. So after you play bar 31, we jump to the coda, which is at bar 41. Okay, so looking at the coda, again, you've got the same 1 bar groove there. We crash in at the start of the coda. Then we've got 2 1 bar repeats. So again, don't repeat the crash on the one of those 2 bar repeats, stay on the hi-hat. And then we've got that break again that we've had in the previous sections, so going up to that high tom, so 3 and 40 and then we come into the final line of the piece down at bar 45. You've got the 1 bar groove again, so no crash. So after that short break, go back to the hi-hat, just like we've done in previous sections. 2 1 bar repeats, and then in the final bar of the piece, we're playing the Motown groove, but it's stopping, finishing on that and of 2. Okay, so we play 1, 2, and then up to the crash for the end of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you got that tie line coming off the crash there, just letting you know to let it ring. So you can see the half note rest. Okay, so that's that tie line coming out of the crash, just letting you know, although there's a rest there to rest with the second rhythm, the bottom rhythm, you want to let that crash ring to finish the piece. Okay, so crash on the upbeat there, on the offbeat to finish. So let's try that whole coda now. We want to put that coda together at song tempo. Okay, just get a nice flow through this piece. Just make sure we get that nice finish on the end of 2 in the final bar. Okay, so let's try that now. Keep that driving feel going for this section as well. So at song tempo, 120 beats per minute. So what we'll do now is we'll go through the final chorus of the song. So from bar 24, we'll play through that chorus until we get told to go to the coda, which is at the at the end of bar 31. Okay, so after you play that fill at the end of bar 31, jump to the coda. So we crash in at the start of the coda and then play through. Okay, so we want to put that together first. Okay, so final chorus of the song and the coda. And now we'll try that in time with the backing track. Okay, so bar 24, play through the chorus until you get to the end of bar 31, jump to the coda at bar 41, play through the coda as well. Okay, so keep it nice and in time with the track, keep all those synchronized notes nice and neat and tidy, keep that driving feel with the music. Let's give that a try with a track. So that's all the sections of the song. Okay, so like I said, rhythmically straightforward, but there's a lot of feel in this piece. So make sure you really put that into the song. There's lots of energy, and obviously you need to give it that driving feel. Okay, so other aspects of your drumming and musicianship need to come out in this song. Okay, so don't just sit back and think straightforward rhythm, straightforward groove. Here we go. You're going to be thinking, right, let's make this feel good. Okay, just really sort of put your heart and soul into this piece. Okay, so what you want to do next, once you've got all the sections down, is you want to make sure you can transition from section to section. Okay, so obviously that's quite easy in this piece because the groove stays the same. So transitions shouldn't be too much of a problem. So once you've got the transitions down, you want to try and put the whole piece together, okay? So that's what we're going to do now. So make sure we can flow through the whole piece and keep that driving, feel-good Motown sound throughout the whole piece. Okay, so let's try that now. Remember, we're resting for 7 bars at the start of the piece. We come in big, nice big feel, play through the verse, and like I was saying before at the start, near the start of the lesson, use those cues there, those lyrical cues. So where it says darling at the end of bar 18 and reach out at the start of bar 19. When you hear that cue, darling, that's when you want to be going back to the music. So come in with that verse groove. Okay, if you want to read it first of all, just to get it in there, so make sure you're playing it nice and solid, but don't read every repeat. Okay, come away from the sheet music. Put your energy into playing the song, okay? So when we look at the sheet, we're playing notes. When we're looking away from the sheet, we're playing music, okay? So we can really put the feel into it. So get the groove down as quick as you can. Come away from the music, really enjoy it, okay? As you're playing it, as soon as you hear that vocal cue, darling, you know, okay, right, I'm back to the music. What's next, okay? You know, we're crashing in for that reach out part, okay? So really use those cues to help you. Okay, so as a musician, that's a great skill to have. It's a great skill to be able to read music, of course, but it's also a great skill to be able to make music feel good. Okay, that's even more important than being able to read. So obviously both are important, but it's even more important to make the music feel good. Okay, so make sure you're able to do that. You can come away from the sheet music, put your heart and soul into the music to make it feel good, and then you can go back to the music and read. Okay, if you've got those two skills, honestly, everyone's going to want to play with you. Everyone's going to want to hire you to play on their music, play and record for them or whatever. Okay, so that's the key thing here. We want to develop you as a musician to make you a good sounding drummer that makes music feel good. Okay, well, not always good, but you know what I mean. You make the music feel the way it's supposed to feel. So this song is supposed to feel good. Okay, so really make sure you're doing that as you play every single note. Don't just play notes, play the music. Okay, let's try and flow through this piece. Keep the energy high, keep it at forte, everything synchronized. Let's give it a try. And then the final thing to do, let's have some fun playing this piece in time with a backing track.
Peace of mind.